We're back to another episode of Let's Play PC Building Simulator. I'm your host, the RPG Guy. And when we last left off, we had some jobs to do. We finished some rigs outside, and you may have noticed that I have updated the workspace. Going with a new look inside, as well as new peripherals that I think we deserve. You know, we've been working hardly working, whichever you want to call it, but we've been working and doing a great job. We're at almost $46,000 in cash, plus the 5-star rating we've been able to greatly maintain, and hopefully we will continue to maintain as well. So let's get started with our next day of intensive labor. First of all, we have some emails. Brand new from Eldrick. House Publishing, the great book of everything in the encyclopedic craze that's sweeping the nation. A lost treasure. Discovered on parchment buried deep in the Mesopotamian riverbed. The great big book of everything is a comprehensive summary of everything. Was it buried for safekeeping or for the good of humanity? Now you can decide for yourself. Encyclopedias are yesterday's news. Every animal, every stone, every atom in the universe, it's all here. Why restrict yourself to the mere sum of human knowledge when you could go beyond? You'll go crazy for it. Scientists and psychologists agree there's more information in the great big book of everything than any one person could possibly comprehend. But doesn't that sound like a fun challenge? How much can you read before you're driven to madness by knowledge of the unknowable? Let us know on social media. The great book of everything is available now from all good occult bookstores, or as a cursed gift from your local mysterious shopkeeper. You gotta love the little details. So, let's get started. We've got ourselves a chilling prospect. They want a water-cooled GPU. Hello again. The first test of this is from Dr. Fritz Rost. The first test of the directed atomic energy siphon was a failure, but we must regroup and find a path to success, especially now that we have a potential buyer. I'm not exactly sure who, but I'm told it may be a national government. The device is control. Computer is still adding too much heat to the test environment. We do not have the resources to adjust the environment, so we must adjust the computer. Please install water cooling on the GPU. The more efficient, the better. We need a complete set of results for that buyer, or I may face dire consequences. Scientifically yours, Dr. Fritz Rost, Chill Labs Incorporated. So, we're going to accept this custom water cooling GPU for this job. We need to water cool a GPU. So let's order a GPU block from the custom water cooling shop. So, maybe close this. So we go to the water cooling shop. GPU blocks. And so we would know what the card is by looking, right? And it would say compatible with which ones. Add it to this dude's rig. Go to checkout. Buy now. Alright. And that's all we can do with that. Let's open our email here because we have another computer. I need a new PC. Can you help? All my mates are playing Lens Flare Video Pro, and I want to play it too. I want my PC to light up. Could you maybe paint the case sky blue? I worry about used parts, so please don't put any of those in, please. Okay, so this dude's budget is about $2,250. Lens Flare Video Pro. Pro, not Magic. Recommended specs. Flare Video Pro. Okay. And so we need to do this pretty much on the recommended settings here. And we'll have to see what we can theoretically get away with other things included. So it's i5 6400 or higher. Now, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of Ryzen setups. They're more, in my opinion, compatible. i5 6400. They're easier to build. So we're talking a Ryzen 5 1400 or 15X. $2,000 is a lot of money. No, I'm surprised the 1500 regular is not here, or is that lower? No, and the 1200 is not here. I guess. They might be retroactively adding that back in. I don't know. This just shows that I think what we have available. We could go as much as a Ryzen 3 or Ryzen 5 1600. Let's take a look at what we need specifically. 16 gigs of RAM, so we'll do that. 4 gigs of video memory, so not a huge chunk of video memory. So GTX 970. So let's do a moderate build. We don't need to be too conservative with our spending. So processor. Look at the processor. We're looking at maybe a 1600, and we're talking what, $140. Yeah, we best be buying that. Let's totally accept. 2250 is a lot of money, so that's a very generous amount. So let's do boom conform and 4. Let's go by ascending. Something maybe with RGB that's not a flat head like that. So let's go with like, we need full RGB. We can spend a little bit more. I think we can get away with. So here's RGB here. Airflow 60. It's not the best airflow, but it meets the standard. Anything else? 53 versus 60 centimeter. 45 versus 50. 159, 156. Let's take this guy. Then we want 4. Sort by price. We want a full board. I've always been big on full board. Full primary board. Crossfire SLI preferred. With the slot here. So we're looking at SATX. I would prefer. And it's got the RGB. But micro, this is dual GPU as well. But it's got everything else I need. And the faster speed, 3466. Let's go with that. We're going to give it a shot. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, it's got 4 slots of memory. Okay, so yeah, we'll go with this. Give it a try. And 3466 on the memory speed. So, boom. And then 3466. We don't have much to choose from. These are 128 each, so we'll do 2 of these. 1, 2. We could add 2 more later if we want. The Vigicard. GTX 970. So let's do 970. That's pretty low on the card late rating. So I vote we just buy a decent card. One card. Maybe a 1080 Ti. Because now we're getting into 3060s here. Let's go to that 2070. Yeah, these are pretty pricey. What do we got? $700. I mean, it doesn't put us over what we were allowed to spend. It really doesn't. 229 on the length, keeping that in mind. storage, M2 straight up, but 7 gigs. Okay, that's okay. So that's pretty fast. 400, giving us quite the budget. So let's go with, there's 850,000 watt at 160, 250 bucks. Let's go with the cheaper. We're gonna go cheaper power supply, but it's not gonna be pathetic. It's gonna be 750 or higher, or even 850 if we can find it. 860 at 150 millimeter. That's probably fine. 140 bucks. Boom. And so remember, our budget, for anybody trying to keep that in mind, is 2250. It's quite the budget. He wants lighting, so we'll get some fans as well if we really feel that we need it. Shop cables, cases. Something with RGB built in would be probably pretty good. Looking to see if there's a case we haven't fiddled with as much. That's not more than maybe $100 or so. That's the mini ITX, so we can't use that. There's the Lelanis at 100, the cheap regular size. We could get that to play with it, so to be 175, that's good. Or power supply 224. Okay, everything fits. I don't want it to be a white tower though. Do they have it in not white? Let's try gold, why not? Boom. And let's see any case fans. Let's add maybe 3 case fans. So we'll come in here and look at some RGBs here. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then that actually keeps us in range. Okay. That keeps us within the price range by $50, if I'm not mistaken. We'll have plenty of time to put in lights and all of that hubbubaloo. The budget's $22.50. We are at $22.07. So this should work. Let's buy it now. Because I want to work on it and build it now, because it sounds pretty cool. It sounds like a really cool rig. So yeah. All right, let's get to it. This will be interesting. Let's open this guy up pretty wide. We're gonna take out these Martonis. We've got better fans to put in. And then motherboard. Let's see how that's dual carded, but whatever. Memory. In it goes. Fancy storage. Graphics card. Moderately good processor. And then case found. So we can't get all the case fans we want on here, but that's okay. No used parts. $21.91. It almost seems like a bigger fan could actually fit there, but it does. It clearly does not. So that's okay. Let's reassemble this. Paint the case sky blue. Don't worry about used parts. Don't put any of those. Please. Okay, so he wants this painted sky blue. And that's. I see a graphical glitch. You're right there. You can see the lines heading below the monitor. It's not a big deal. It's just something that you can tell. That in. We'll 3D mark it. Do some lighting. I don't think we need a GP tune it or anything like that. So he wants purple. So I don't remember what he wanted though. Let's with static effect. With static effect. It should run relatively good, the weakest thing being the processor. Strangely enough, probably that and the video card. But it should be run rather smoothly. We built a pretty nice machine here for the lovely sum of 2191. Just want to make sure it all kind of runs together. Looks great. Relatively smooth. Nice. We'll let that run. Then we'll make a save and turn it in so we can get our money back on that bad boy right away. This is one of the instances where I wanted to build something nicer because in the computer build versus just doing a very small update using the cheapest means necessary. Because I am curious, as in PC Building Simulator 1, some of the jobs would, you'd get the computer you worked on back and then they want an upgrade. They shorthand you the money because you didn't use enough of it when you built the computer in the first place. Hence why Ryzen's are better buys. You can easily upgrade the processor without having to buy new motherboards like you do with the Intels. Oh, you went Cabby Lake? Well, fuck you. You have to go Coffee Lake now. And then you're up Schitt's Creek without the paddle. Oh god, the paddle. So 7,026. That's okay. We don't care. We just checking for glitches. All right. This guy be done. Let's set her up here. Make a save, because saving is your friend. Yes. And then let's turn it in. And the new PC is lovely. Its budget. Everything was in range. We made only 419. Now I think we would have made more money if we kept the parts down. Like I said, I don't want to run into issues. So yeah. Looks like we got some new cases. Kingpin Gaming 1080, 2070s, and some other video cards, as I call them. All right, so we gotta wait till the next day to do the next job. Let's make it a brand new day. Oh yeah, baby, a brand new day, brand new day. All right. So first things first, let's grab that bad boy. Let's grab that bad boy, and let's get to work. Custom water cooling a GPU. This customer wants you to water cool the GPU and add it into their existing water cooler. To do this, we need to remove the GPU and a GPU cooling block. Let's get started. I think we did this earlier on, but I think it's just a reminder. I swear this looks just like the computer I just built, but slightly different. Okay. We need to change this to a water-cooled bench. And then yes, boom. Open Sesame. Next, we need to remove and replace the thermal paste. The thermal paste is an important part of PC building as it increases the efficiency of heat transfer between CPU and the heat sink, helping to prevent the CPU from moving. Make sure that you always refresh the thermal paste when working on a customer's PC. We haven't been that good at that, to be honest with you. It is something I agree with, though. Whenever you disconnect the heatsink, probably in your best interest to, redo it. And it's done. I like this part of the game feature-wise. It's pretty cool. We deal more with case modding. Alright, let's install the GPU. Take out the water. Take out some of the piping. So we can see what the coolant's doing. It's a weird loop. Close her up. The part wasn't even that expensive. And then we'll turn it in. Nice. $290. Because we spent $80, right? Yeah, whatever. We'll get to that. Okay, I can't believe it's not cluttered. All right, so okay. Overclock GPU to at least 1720. Hi, Melon Rusk here. Might have heard of me. I'm something of a celebrity after my almost 6 years old attempt to launch a rocket from the local cemetery last year. Don't believe everything you read, by the way. The old lady was hardly injured, and who visits a grave on a Friday evening anyway? So I'm gearing up for a long-awaited second attempt, but I need your help to get it off the ground. I have to squeeze every last drop of power out of my PC, so I'm hoping you can overclock my GPU for me. I need it running at an optimal speed. Let's make history. I'm going to say Melon. Okay, so we just got to overclock the GPU. Not a problem. Very easy thing to do. Really depending on his stats, but that should not be an issue whatsoever. Water cool CPU. My CPU needs water cooling. It is something that you offer. I need you to hook my CPU up to a custom water loop. I think food stickers will look cool on my PC. Can you do that? It looks a bit bland in there. Some plastic light gray cables might make it look better. So let's accept. Not quite sure what he needs. Because we haven't done a lot of the water cooling loops, so we'll wait till it gets here. To do that, but I do want to check cables. And he wanted what? Some plastic light gray cables. We have light gray, so that's, we don't need to buy anything for that. Okay. Before we move on, let's collect on everything here. Nice. Freaking sweet. And freaking sweet. Now, we're at a point where let's buy these computers. We're at a point here where we have a huge influx of money. When, in my opinion, for the sake of just simplicity, when we get to a stage like this, excuse me, when we get to a stage like this in our building career, we have a massive influx of money. We don't really need to worry about making any at this exact moment. What we probably want to do is just start stocking up on cases on PCs rather till we hit a roughly 20 grand. When we run down to the 20 grand issue because we're buying a lot of PCs, then we can start putting them out for sale. We need to start building them and then putting them out every day in game. Because guess what? We're not hurting for money. We're just not. I'll tell you that right now. We get another high-end case, which will be the home for a computer much like this. So this depends on what's broken and what's not broken, right? So that is an empty case. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. Bad motherboard. Not a great video card. So, oh well, nice case though. Freaking sweet. All right, what do we got in here? Well, I didn't take a hard drive out, did I? We'll have to look at that. I bet there's a hard drive in that case. I don't remember taking a hard drive out. really quick. Let's set these cables to light gray. It's an interesting performance processor. Oh god. This is just ridiculous looking. Yeah, this is going to be one of the cheap ones we're going to want to get rid of. That is a tiny, tiny, teeny piece of crap. Little motherboard that I despise with all of my hate. Probably didn't need to take that out. That's a nice video card. That's probably broken. Will make me quite sad. Crappy processor. Crappy processor alert. Crappy processor alert. And then let's go to all. Oh, that's a sad state of affairs. Okay, looks good. Lots of processors, lots of cooling. Motherboards is what's really in question here with what we got. We got Coffee Lakes, AM4s. We got a Skylake. What do we have for a Ryzen here? We got a pretty low tier Ryzen, so that's good because that other Ryzen, that rig that we got is pretty terrible. Pretty low tier graphics card probably right here. So we do have a build for that terrible rig and a 450 power supply. So yeah, we could make a shit rig with some of that other stuff. Okay, let's get rid of that. I don't know why that's there. Okay, we don't know what we're dealing with either of these, so we will make it a brand new day. Because yeah, there's other than building rigs to sell, we don't have enough to do. Well, we have enough to build a bunch, but we may as well wait it out until we actually need the money. And we don't even have to quote unquote need the money. We just need some money. And yeah, unless we can build like 30 rigs or 50 rigs, there's not really a point in worrying about it right now. All right. Yes. So definitely do this for the tutorial, of course. Okay, select monitor. You're really making me do this. So we don't, because this is a straight GPU performance, we don't want to burn wattage on upgrading anything else. We just want to upgrade the GPU. Increase the voltage by 20%. So 20%. As we increase the core speed. Increase the core clock speed until the reader reaches 1720 megahertz is the frequency requested by the customer. So he wants 1720. It also boosts the memory clock when overclocking, although it isn't necessary for this job. Memory clock controls how quickly the GPU can feed the graphics processor with information, so balance between a fast core clock and a fast memory clock is key to getting most of your GPU. My personal theory is you can adjust this kind of a third to half of what's usually here at the core, as long as the power supply can handle it. So just keep that in mind. And that's not that's not like the best rule of thumb. That's just the way I'm going to experiment with it going forward. I do question every game's, between this and the PC Building Simulator 1, I am going to question the integrity of doing GPU tuning. But as we get more jobs for that, I'll worry about it later. All right, so the GPU has been overclocked. It is stable. CPU, GPU throttled, no, and then the temperature max is 60. So ready for the customer. Okie dokie. You're unlikely to break a GPU using software overclocking, so experiment. If the PC crashes, try running at a lower speed or add more cooling to the PC. Spreaders may ask for a benchmark score rather than a frequency. Use 3D Mark for this, which also serves as a stability test. That's usually what we used in the previous installment. Mainly because it was a more basic functional variant. It gave a little bit more information, and most of the time people wanted performance. GPU requests are rather rare. Water cool CPU. Okay, so if we're not mistaken, we go to... First, let's buy all of this. Doop, 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 and doop. Okay. Let's go and see specifically here. Dude wants food stickers, gray cables. So we gotta undo everything inside the goddamn computer anyway. So that just fucking sucks. But it is what it is, and that's all that it is. It's Popeye the Sailor Tiz. No, I'm just kidding. Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I live in a garbage can. I'm strong to the finish because I eat my Spanish. It's not... Garbage can's not part of the original song, bro. Yeah, don't care. Okay, so everything's cord-wise disconnected there and there. We gotta remove this. We're gonna have to remove the processor. So, water cool CPU blocks. I don't know if we need to do a motherboard block, but what's the budget? 1200, so it sounds like it's something we gotta do. What is the motherboard here? This is a Xtune. I don't see it here. Wi-Fi, Aorus Master. That. Okay, so it's not going to be that. It's going to be here. And this is going to be a 1151 or LGA 1200. So I'm guessing what we need is something like this. So let's buy this. Boom. Pump reservoir. Probably the smallest. 147. Radiator. What's this thing? It looks like we got a 2 slaughter up there. So let's go with a 2 slaughter here. Conform? $1,200. We're at 520. Looks like we can get better neater connectors and stuff. Relatively cheap too. I might buy them all just so I have them. We have all the cooling colors. Memory RAM, heat sinks. So I don't think we need anything. Oh, pipes. One of these might be things we want to buy just to have while we have the money. So I get the impression they're eventually going to start asking us to, you know, for certain colors. We could do this with our cables too. Just start buying all the colors. Because money is not an issue at this specific time. So we got the 3 pieces that we need. We'll do same day delivery. Boom. Close it. Open it. Okay, so I think food stickers is a bit bland. There's some plastic like cables. Okay. Thanks, Jeff. Let's go ahead and reinstall some of this. Their crap little processor. Tools. We need to gel her up. And then custom water cooling. Okay, this is not helping. Water cool block. We need that. We need the pump reservoir. We need the radiator. We want to off put it maybe here. Like that. We have gray. We don't. We have this though. We have black, clear, green, pink, purple, red, yellow. Wait. We don't really have anything all that interesting, so we'll just put black coolant in there. Ooh, that's right. Let's go ahead and install everything. Seriously. Okay. Hold on. This was plugged in before. I hate when this shit happens because it's stupid. Okay, so somehow this worked before. Over here. So we need to figure out what the heck is going on. I think I figured it out. Okay, we have a disagreement here on how this is connected. There we go. I think we got it that time. Parts. No dust cover. Oh, there's a dust cover up there. I forgot to put the freaking coolant in there. There we go. We're gonna test this too. I know it's a bit of a stickler issue, but I want to test it before we just send it out. What else did it need? Food stickers. He's cheesing it up. Like gray cables. Okay, so it should all be there. Booted. We'll run this instead of the other one. And all the cables should be gray. Because that's what we grabbed. They look gray. Run it. Oh, there's a fan not turned on. Doesn't matter, we gotta redo it the test anyway. Alright, now let's run it. That's a nice little loop if I do say so myself. Personally, I would find a way to move... I would personally remove a fan, put the radiator over here if it'll fit. Put like the 2-3 fans up here. But I think that's not possible, to be honest with you. And would have been nicer to put a 3 fan, but I'm not sure if that would have fit. So look at that. That's smooth, baby. God, my nipples are so hard thinking about the chill factor. Off we go. Let's go ahead and remove double CT. Shut her down. Get her out of the fuck out of my shop. All right, let's make a save, because saving is your friend, and sometimes things are forgotten and not made clear. Let's go ahead and turn these in. The overclock should be perfectly fine. We hit level 12, and this should be good. They did a great job cooling my CPU with a custom loop, and the food stickers were a nice touch. Grammar would help, because that looks like an L, but I know it's an apostrophe, but whatever. Yeah, that's cool. So we did a good job. We did a good job indeed. New parts. We leveled up. New things to buy. Let's just disassemble. And we're not looking to rebuild anything white yet, just for reasons. We don't need the cash. What I am going to do is look at cable pricing. Because if we own every cable in the game, we don't ever have to worry about buying cables. Wait, one? That. So you can think of it that way, as a perk, so to speak. Because, yeah, we're not hurting for cash. So we will... a couple of good parts in here. Anything Ryzen always kind of excites me. I don't know. I know there are people who have very strong feelings with certain parts. I'm not a purveyor of giving a crap. Intel makes decent stuff. AMD makes decent stuff. If I ran a business, though, I would probably go more with AMD. It seems like they do a much more streamlined job than Intel does. That's a personal preference. Because, yeah, their stuff's more universal, so if customers wanted upgrades and stuff, it'd be easier to do it without having to go crazy on the boards and everything else. But again, I'm not the IT job I used to do back in the 90s, or the 90s, back in the early to mid 2000s, I didn't do much. I was a supervisor. I wasn't actually even one of the main technicians. I was just a supervisor. So I can't sit here and be like, oh, yeah, I know exactly, blah, blah, blah. I was charismatic. I was good with customers. And I was in charge of the scheduling and, dealing with conflicts in the store. So I could tell stories. I don't know if you guys would ever be interested in that. If you are, definitely check out my Twitch channel, because I share a lot of stories about I play a lot of RPGs mostly, not as much simulation, but you can check out when I'm there playing whatever game I'm playing. And if you're curious enough to ask about the stories from my time doing, and for those wondering, I worked at Circuit City. And did some IT stuff. We didn't build custom computers exactly. Well, actually, that's not true. We did, but it was based off of parts we had in the store, which we had all the parts. Circuit City had power supplies. We sold memory. We sold video cards, processors. We sold all that stuff a la carte, so to speak. And we ended up having our own version kind of the Geek Squad. We actually had it before I even think the Geek Squad did. It was just called, we had a computer repair department, a service department, so to speak. And then when they named theirs Geek Squad, I think pretty quickly we gave ours a nickname, and a couple of years later it called it Fire Dog, which was the dumbest sounding. There's a reason Circuit City doesn't really exist anymore. Decisions like that are part of it. Fire Dog, it doesn't even make sense. It does not reek of quality IT sense. So anyway, we've been doing good. We're getting there. We've got a smorgasbord of stuff. When you think about it, we're still at 4,800. So we've only spent about $900 on computers to eventually replenish the shop. But until we hit probably 30 to 20K, or if we need all that money, that's probably when I'm going to make the effort to improve the budget. I definitely want to buy all the cables. We can afford all of them. So let's just pick. Let's just grab them all. And it seems like we get new cables over time anyway, so this will be making it easier to just straight up have everything. for, you know, a couple grand. Give me all your cables. Is there not a select all feature? Holy mother of Burl, $3,000 straight up in cables. We'll buy it now. There. Did I miss any? No. Okay. So yes, we dropped that much money on cables because fuck it, I just want to have it. So yeah, we've got a lot going for us. We've got 2 new jobs for us to pick up for the next day. And with that said, I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/JectRStudios for more live gaming action. Because when we come back, we've got 2 new jobs. We're going to buy more broken computers and rip them apart as usual. And we'll probably try to get through 4 jobs a day till I need to start building rigs. And then we'll have a whole episode, you know, dedicated to strictly to rig building. Because, you know, we tend to have a lot of fun. I tend to have a lot of fun with doing that. And I'm sure you guys have a lot of fun watching the shenanigans that we can build based on the used parts that we're just straight up fucking sitting on. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, and we will see you guys next time.